So before we start talking about technique and footwork and how to aim these shots and where to hit the ball, we need to first talk about identification. It all begins with identifying that a short ball is in fact coming on your side of the court. And that might seem basic, but I cannot even begin to tell you how many opportunities are wasted by players of all levels because they react too late to what is a short ball. And either they don't identify that it's short so badly that they don't even get to the ball, and they run for it, but they don't even get to it and it bounces twice, or they had a chance to attack on a ball that could have been shoulder height, but by the time they identified it and moved to the ball, now it's down at knee height. And so their opportunity to attack and hit an offensive shot has just totally dried up. So 5 things that you need to look for. And if you're not already automatically identifying these things, there needs to be a conscious level of awareness first. You need to purposefully and consciously start picking these things out when you're playing, or when you're watching points, when you're watching your friends play or your teammates play. Number 1 is balance. And this is completely separate from where they are on the court. In other words, you could like crush a forehand right to them, and their balance could be poor when they're right in the middle of the court. So what you're looking for is their posture and how they look with their upper body. If they're getting set up to hit and all of a sudden you see that they have to lean back in order to make an effective swing at the ball, or maybe they set up and again they're in the middle of the court and all of a sudden they do like one of these and they're lunging forwards to get to the ball. If their balance is off, the chances of them hitting a ball short increase dramatically. So watch their balance. Number 2 is their position on the court. Just because they're way out of position doesn't mean that they're going to hit short, but it's a much greater chance. If you pull them way off to the side of the court and they're having to hit from off the court, chances are it's going to be short, more likely than if you hit right to them, right? And this kind of coincides with balance. It is not the same thing. It is not the same thing. But very often these two go together. In other words, you've pulled them way off the court, they're out of position, and they're off balance, and they're having to, their posture is poor, and they're having to lean way over just to get to the ball. A lot of times those things go together, but not always. So balance, position, racket preparation. Racket preparation is a big one, and part of what goes along with this is grip. If you see them setting up comfortably, they have a topspin grip, and grip is something you should start to look for, by the way. If you're not already identifying what grip your opponent has, you should be looking for that. If they have a continental grip, where you know that they usually have an Eastern or semi-Western forehand grip and they usually drive the ball confidently, and you see them moving out to their side with a continental grip with their racket back like this, chances are this is going to be a weaker shot than normal, as opposed to moving out to the ball like this with a semi-Western grip, confident upper body, in balance, getting to the ball. This is completely different. So racket preparation is key. And again, grip, the angle of the racket face as they're setting up, where the racket is. If it's close to them, and you all know what I'm talking about. This looks like they're getting ready to hit a confident shot. This does not. So look for their preparation. Quality of contact is number 4. This could be the biggest one out of all 5, as far as the one that is missed most commonly by tennis players just like you. You need to listen carefully to what it sounds like when your opponent hits the ball. When a shot hits somewhere other than the sweet spot, it makes a very different noise. And it comes off the racket in a very different way. It doesn't come off as lively, immediately off the strings. The noise is really the biggest thing. If you can start to train your ears to pick up on how good a quality contact was, it will give you an early warning sign for those short balls so much better than anything else, honestly. The other things are important, the preparation, the balance, the positioning, the last one that we're going to talk about, it's all very important. But all those things could be in place and your opponent could still mishit the shot by a little bit, very frequently resulting in a short ball. So listen carefully to what each shot sounds like. And again, this might be something that you have to be conscious of at first. Eventually, I want it to be automatic for you. I don't want you to have to think about it. At first, you may have to, though, just to be aware of it. And the last thing that I'll point out is the initial height of your opponent's shot over the net. All those other things could be in place. Their preparation is confident, their balance is solid, they're in a good position on the court, they hit it cleanly. But if the ball is tracking to only clear the net by a couple inches, maybe 6 inches or a foot, even if they hit that ball solid, you're probably going to have some kind of opportunity to move into the court, as opposed to staying on the baseline and let that well-hit shot come to you on its way down from the bounce and hitting a shot from below your knees, where you could have stepped into the court and hit a more offensive shot. Bottom line, all 5 of these elements frequently come down to you having an opportunity. And if you are not aware of these elements, you're not aware when they happen, then you will miss opportunity after opportunity that you could have taken to move into the court and attack, which is what we're now going to work on, the technique of how to do that, the footwork of how to do that. But it all starts with identification. If you don't identify it early enough, then your opportunity window closes and you no longer have that chance to attack. So this is vital. Take this part seriously. Don't think, oh, that sounds too basic. You're probably missing at least 1 or 2 of these 5 things on a regular basis. So work on this, work on your identification, and it will pay dividends.